What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This morning I spent a little bit of time editing half a video, and then I spent a little bit of time messing around with ChatGPT to come up with some fun designs for some limited t-shirt releases. I'll talk more with you guys about that a little bit later, but I came into the garage today to kind of do some component cleaning because a lot of the turbo components that came off the 8.8 silver sedan has a bunch of oil in it. If you guys haven't seen the last video, my buddy Eric came through to help me yank the entire engine and turbo kit out of the 8.8 silver sedan because we lost a cylinder on the dyno a couple of weeks ago, and we are trying to push to get everything all separated so I can get the short block back to the dyno, where my tuner is gonna go ahead and do some piston rod setup for us. The turbo manifold, the charge pipes, the down pipes, the intake manifold itself has a bunch of oil in it that came up through cylinder number 2 because the piston is like missing a quarter of its skirt, and I wanted to come and clean all that stuff out today just to kind of kill some time. But then I remembered we actually haven't even torn the short block down to the bear yet. The bear meaning short block and just a rotating crank. Those are the two parts that are going to go to the shop to get it machined. But I want to dive into the short block today. I kind of want to see what cylinder number 2 is looking like and just kind of make it less heavy and bring the short block without all the unnecessary stuff. We're gonna dive into the short block, but first I need to figure out how to get it up into the table because I don't have a spare engine stand here in the garage, and I'm not trying to work on the floor either. But I also don't want to overdo with picking up a bunch of heavy things, so I have an idea. I'm not gonna bear hug the short block to pick it up onto the table like I normally do because I'm a beast, but like, if you guys been on the channel for a while, you guys probably see me do this before. I'm gonna take my jack and I'm gonna roll the short block on there, and this is the extended jack, so it goes up pretty freaking tall. My goal is to get it up close to the table, jack it up close enough to swing it up onto the table so I can work on it right here. But I'm also going to bring my drip pan right there so that way we don't leak everywhere, because there is still some coolant in it, and I'm sure there's still a little bit of oil in there as well too. So let's figure this out. Thank goodness for aprons, huh? I recycled a lot of Ziploc bags because I use these to organize, you know, bolts and stuff, hardware, when I remove it from whatever. There's a couple of tabs around the pan and the block that you can wedge a pry bar into and pop the RTV off. Woo! There's a bunch of debris everywhere. Ooh, piston rings too. I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's a bunch of aluminum pieces, and then this is one of the oil control ring right here, little zigzag oil ring. Huh, okay. As we're taking all these stuff off, I am going to clean it as we go, or at least the stuff that we're going to be reusing. went into the backyard to go find a bucket and didn't realize that the fence was like tipping over to the neighbor's side. So had to go screw some wood, some stilts, some legs, some support to kind of hold it on our side because it's leaning that way. It's the original fence when we moved into this house, so definitely need to find some time to do some research and learn how to build a fence so we can put all new units in the backyard. So I mean, the sun's kind of already setting back there, but I found a milk crate because all of my regular buckets are being used right now, and I put a bag over it. All this stuff I'm just going to toss in there and throw some detergent on it to kind of soak up, clean up, while we continue taking apart the short block. So I'm probably gonna throw all the items in there. If you guys remember, we unboxed that acid cleaning detergent, which is called Moxy, and apparently it works really well without agitating it. You spray it on, you let it sit, let it eat, and then you rinse it off. It should be clean. If you want it to be cleaner, you just use a brush to kind of, you know, work it all in. But we're gonna just spray it on and see what it does after a few minutes. Check this out before. Let's get back to it, guys. Rods right here, number 1 and number 4, because that's the corresponding cylinder. Got a breaker bar because I'm not just gonna UGA everything like you guys assume I do. Hey Brian, I was watching a video when you were taking apart your K24 and you were trying to figure out how to get the rod cap off the rod to take it apart from the crank. What you do is you don't take the rod bolts all the way out, right? You thread it in just a little bit. So you just take a hammer, preferably a ball peen, and you tap the rods. And then you can see that the rod drops. Now you can take off the rod bolts all the way, and the cap is separated from the rod itself. So right here on the back side, there are some light scoring on the bearing itself, and that's probably because of the debris that kind of went through the oil system, but not too shabby. I'm sure the crank can be polished out and wouldn't need to be cut, because realistically we don't want to go oversized on the crank journal. So number one, I'm put a single dot on here just in case. I'm gonna push this rod all the way out. This is crazy, guys. So our issue is cylinder number 2, and apparently cylinder number 1 also has a cracked ringland. Can you guys see that right there? Okay, wow. Alrighty, this is number one, single dot on the inside. Not much in here. There is some center line scoring right there in the bearing. Not shabby. Number 4. Not shabby. Put the crank bolt back in to rotate the crank to get to cylinder number 2 and 3. I'm probably gonna do 3 first, then number 2. Number 2 might be a little tricky to get out because of the melted piston and it caking on the cylinder walls. It actually spins pretty easily. Number 3 bearings, same as the other. This one's actually a little smoother, but there is the scoring right in the center like the other ones. Number 3 piston, looks clean. It's hard for you guys to see because it is getting dark right now, but looks good. And last, number 2, same thing with the bearings, a little gritty, does have the score in the center. All right guys, moment of truth. How damaged is cylinder number 2 pistons? Moment of truth, guys. How damaged is cylinder number 2 piston? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see that giant window right there? Oh my goodness. Look at that right there on the inside. Can you see that little shadow? Woo, baby. Holy cow. Look at that. That's not a broken ring line. That's completely melted. Oh my goodness. Wow, it actually broke the rings too, because here's the gap right here on the top ring. And then here's another one broken right there. Wow. That's so crazy, my friend. That's so crazy. My last engine, the piston was like in 1,000 pieces. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up number 2 piston and mark it up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take off the accessories from the block itself. I'm gonna leave the crank in here, and then I'll pick back up with you guys when I flip the block over to show you guys the cylinder walls. I'm gonna put this on jet. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and just blast it right there inside the bag. It's got most of the brown residuals off, but not all of it. Definitely right here is a lot cleaner. Here's cleaner, but you can still see some spots here and there. But if I rub it with my finger, it comes right off. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this a second round, and I'm gonna hit it with the brush. I'm gonna hit it with the brush and then let it sit for a little bit, wash it again, and see how clean all these parts come out. But so far, not too shabby. Alright guys, so it's been about 1 hour and 45 minutes since the last clip. I was cleaning hardware away and putting my tools away, and then I decided to just clean the entire hardware for the bottom end, get them all nice and ready to go for reassembly. They're all set up on the table over there. I'll show you guys in just a second, but the last thing that I'm cleaning is the piston and rods, just because, you know, I want stuff to be clean and not all oiled up when I need to move it next time. So I sprayed some of the Moxy acid cleaner on it and just kind of let it sit there and soak up, right? And I made another discovery. Cylinder number 2 has a giant hole in it. Cylinder number 1 has broken ring lands. But as I was scrubbing the pistons, I noticed something else. So let me show you guys. This one right here is number 2. Big old hole right there. Number 4 came out clean for the most part. Number 3 also came out clean for the most part. And then over here we have cylinder number 1 with the broken ring land right here. You can see the giant gaps right in between right there. And then I was holding this and I was like, holy crap, that's a bent rod. Can you guys see that? That is a bent rod, my boys. So we have a bent rod, broken ring land number 1, and a giant hole in number 2. This rod doesn't look bent at all. And I was talking to some of my friends and they were telling me that, okay, well, based off that giant hole and the burn marks on the cylinder, that right there is aluminum from the piston caked up on the cylinder wall. So I'm hoping that when we bore this over 86.5, it's going to clean that up really well. But my friends were telling me that this happened because it probably ran lean in the cylinder. Running lean means the injector could have failed and not kept up with these other you know, cylinders and cause that piston to melt out, right? So I'm also wondering now with the bent rod is if the cylinder number 1, this guy, had an injector got stuck open or something and created a lot of fluid in the chamber, which then hydrolocked this motor, and it didn't knock or anything whatsoever. There was no metallic in the oil pan at all, and surprisingly enough, this is all the piece that came out of it, and this is part of the piston, but no bearing, no anything got chewed up. It's just crazy that the car even ran with a bent rod and 2 pistons that took a dump. So a mystery right here. I am going to be popping the injectors off the manifold, and I'm going to take it with the short block to get it clean to see if they flow what they're supposed to, or evenly, or the same, or if there's a failed injector that might cause my issue here. We're going to find out with those injectors we are running in this car. And I'm kind of at this point now that once we do the built motor, I'm going to use my 1600s instead of those, because I don't want this to happen again. But that's crazy to me. Let me know what you guys think. So one more look here on the short block before I put everything away. It looks like that's the only flaw in cylinder number 2. 1's clean, 2, 3's clean, 4, and then opposite side looks good as well. And you guys got to understand that that's normal. And the crazy part is that the crosshatch is still there. Hard for you guys to see on the camera, but I don't know how much mileage is on this block. What I was told was they bought the car from the auction, the RSX, pulled everything out, put it in here, sat for 4 years, and that was that. But the crosshatch is still in here, looks good. No scoring, no lips on the top at all. So hopefully they can clean that up and we can set up the new 86.5 into the short block. So everything is all taken apart, like I mentioned, aside from the knock sensor, which I don't care because I don't really run it anyways. I did clean all the surfaces, so the timing side, all of the RTV is gone. Same thing for the bottom, all gone. I still got to do the water pump housing right there, and I'll take care of that tomorrow. But I want to show you guys over here all the parts that we cleaned. So windage tray came out super freaking clean. Oil pump came out super clean. All the bolts, I didn't use a wire wheel, I just used the acid cleaner, and I wanted that OE color instead of a wire wheel because you end up taking the coating off, and if moisture touches it, it'll rust. So a little bit of scrubbing with my good old toothbrush, wherever it may be. We were able to clean it up really good. Everything is like nice and dry, really clean. I'm not going to touch it because my hand's dirty, but I'm going to open this up later and just make sure everything inside that is okay, because like I said, it's not a spun bearing. It should be good to go as long as everything in the inside looks good. So as far as this, I'm going to put everything in baggies, label it all up, and put it in a box so it's all ready to rock and roll. So right now I'm going to go ahead and put the short block back on the dolly, push that into the garage, finish cleaning the rest of the pistons, and we're going to close the garage. Guys, I'm a freaking idiot. I just closed the garage. It is currently 9:44. I was still out there for another hour or so, and it is super duper cold. I was playing with water. I tried to pick up the short block to get it off the table and onto the dolly, and then I was like, man, this is kind of heavy with the crank still in it, and I didn't want to risk nothing with my healing process. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pull the crank out. So I ended up pulling out the crank, and while I was there, I started cleaning the hell out of the block. Like, I went super deep clean with the block. I want to show you guys really quickly. It is kind of hard to see between the garage door, but dude, this thing looks like the OEM cast from factory. You guys know K-Series timing side has all that brown here. That freaking Moxy stuff took it all off, and I did 2 rounds on it, and dude, it's so freaking clean. So that Moxy stuff, I definitely give it a thumbs up. And I didn't even use much. I still have a little bit in the bottle, and I still have almost that 1 gallon jug that I bought. It's only 60 bucks. You can look it up, Moxy. I'll try to put a link in the description below for you guys if you are interested in trying to use something like that. Not sponsored whatsoever. I seen it on Remy's channel, and I was like, I gotta give it a shot, you know, because I've been using oven cleaner, and sometimes oven cleaner, if you don't get to it right away, it leaves a lot of like white residuals, and like it just makes you double up the work to clean it up. But it works well. This stuff works really fast. But anyways, pistons right here, dude. It's just crazy that, you know, we have this bent rod right here. This one also has the broken ringland right there. And then number 2, obviously, got a giant hole in it. 3 and 4, Gucci. The block is ready to go. Like, it's all cleaned up for Guy. I know it's going to go to the machine shop and it's going to get cleaned up anyways, but I figured just for like transporting purposes, I didn't want to like carry a dirty block, even though it wasn't really that dirty. The crank is sitting on this mini shelf that I built yesterday off camera. So I have the crank sitting on this right now. I cleaned all the journals and everything of water, brake cleaned all the holes and everything to make sure that this thing doesn't rust up while it's sitting here waiting to go to the shop. Just gonna sit here for right now. And I was going to press a t-shirt tonight, but it's super duper cold because I got carried away. I got a different print from a different company that is actually closer to me. Now, when you get into DTF printing and you're outsourcing DTF instead of printing it yourself, they always tell you to try to find a company closer to you, as well as like wholesale t-shirt companies, just so that it will not slow you down in the process of whatever, you know, big or small business you're doing. So I found a company that's actually close by, and I don't know their quality of print. I was gonna print one from this company because I ordered like 4 of the same prints. I wanted to compare this print versus the Ninja Transfer we did a couple of videos ago, which are the ones that are hanging up there. But because we're not getting to it tonight, I'm actually waiting for 2 other companies, which one I didn't know. It's coming from Texas. And then the other one is coming from LA, another distributor that's kind of close by Ninja Transfer, but crazy price. But I'm probably just gonna wait for the other 2 to show up so I can do a 3 plus Ninja Transfer 4 comparison between prints and prices. But I kind of want to touch topic on this as well too. All the videos that I've dropped lately that hasn't been a car related content has not done well. Now, I appreciate you guys because a lot of you guys tell me, you know, it doesn't matter what you drop or when you drop it or whatever it's about, you guys will still support me, and I truly appreciate y'all for real. But the thing is, this is what I do full time, and you know, when a video doesn't do well, it impacts the channel a lot. And because I've been in this healing process and I've dropped a lot of videos that aren't related to cars, like Q&As, the bench building, the t-shirt printing, all those videos didn't do too well, and the channel is like deep in the grays right now. It's kind of killing me, to be honest with you guys, which is why during the healing process, when I couldn't work on cars, I decided I wanted to get into t-shirt printing. So that's why we're doing this t-shirt printing ordeal here in the garage to kind of keep me busy. And also, this is, you know, it's going to turn into a business eventually, right? And this is like the other passive income where I'm not like, you know, not worried about if YouTube doesn't do well for me. You know what I mean? Food's still going to be on the table. Bills are going to get paid. Shout out to my cousin. He came through and dropped off 2 boxes of teas. And there's still 1 more that we're getting here soon. And these aren't actually going to be the one that we're going to be doing the H2B prints on. These are a bunch of pocket tees, and a lot of it are also white as well. And I'm not really going to offer white. But what I'm going to do with these, I mentioned earlier about doing some simple, fun design that I've used ChatGPT to help me make. I'm going to do some limited runs on some of these fun designs that I came up with, to kind of like use these guys up, right? Because we're doing black shirts with no pocket tees. So white is all in here, and then these are pocket tees. So if you guys supported the Built to Drive back in the days, our t-shirts were pocket tees. So because I'm not offering pocket tees, I'm just going to use these pocket tees up to do the fun runs of the little designs that I've came up with. So based off just these 2 boxes, I have about a little under 200 t-shirts, ranging from small to 3XL. Unfortunately, these fun runs aren't going to go any bigger in the sizes because I would have to outsource those sizes. But I will say for those who are bigger than 3XL, we are definitely going to go up to 6. limited stock on those sizes, because the bigger it goes, the more expensive it becomes. So definitely going to do a handful of 4, 5, and 6X for when we release the H2B, and also more merch to follow after this whole ordeal is done. My cousin also told me that there's another box that he's going to bring to me once he digs it out, and I think the other box are tank tops, because we used to sell the B2D in tank tops as well too. So we'll figure it all out when the inventory shows up, and we'll figure out all that we have to kind of figure out what we're going to do with all of them. So we're not printing tonight, but we did do some progress on the short block. So right now I'm just waiting for the pistons to show up in the next couple of days. Then we can take the block, the rods, the pistons back to the shop and get that whole entire ordeal rolling. But as far as this video goes, shit, kind of went a little further than I expected. But I do like my stuff a little clean, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for this video right here. I hope you guys enjoy a little bit of the K20a2 block teardown from the 8.8 silver sedan, and a little bit of cleaning with the Moxy solution. If you guys did, be sure to leave a thumbs up. And if you guys want to stick around for some JDM EF2 content, because I know I've said it 1,000 times now, but the block is torn apart, it's ready to go. We're gonna dive into the JDM EF2, and or if you guys want to stick around for some junker content, because we're gonna hit the yard in about 2 days, be sure to hit the subscribe button. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.